why don't we talk about the senior placement business? And guys, if you're out there and you're listening to the channel and you want to know more, you can drop down and click a link and schedule a consultation call with myself. You can watch a podcast. You can do all kinds of things down there. There's a couple different links, but let's get into it. Do you guys have any specific questions or comments about the senior placement business you just want to shout out in the airwaves?
Well, this is, I think, literally my, I don't even know, maybe this is my third day, on board, if you will.
And Gar's like, man, I just come on.
I'm probably 35, 40% the way through the Institute. So
that's good. That's a fast pace.
And I've got lots of questions, but I've got about 5 minutes before my next phone call. And actually I'm connecting with Brittany later on today just to run through, a number of questions. So far, it's the curriculum has been really, really informative. There's a lot of information there to have to digest and analyze and download and think through. And it's been good. It's really encouraging. It is really invigorated me with even more energy and optimism that I had before we decided to purchase the program. I purchased the program with my wife. And we, so we're sort of in the drinking from multiple fire hoses stage right now. So I don't want to dominate the conversation with a ton of questions.
That's good. That's good.
Comment, perhaps if I may, I've been through all of the videos that you have there and just going through them now second time. And I think I texted you that probably the one video that you posted, which was about, you have to have something in your heart that you want to do what is right for people. And as long as you have that, then you will be successful. And so I found a lot of encouragement in that. So thanks for sharing that. I've had a few leads. And so maybe one question for you is, as a newbie, and just having just a few leads, and I would consider that a success, even though there is no placement yet. What would be your first step? Like totally green, been through the videos, a few conversations with leads. What would be your next step from here? Where would you go? In terms of, so I haven't set up any agreements yet with any assisted livings. And so where would you go?
Yeah. So let me ask you this: where did the leads come from?
Google Ads.
Google Ads. All right, fantastic. So my experience on either Google Ads or anything like that, whether it be a generalized post, they're probably going to be somebody that is in the thought process of going to assisted living. Typically, they're not ready like right now. They're probably ready in 3 months, 6 months, a year, something like that, which is good too, right? That's fine. So what I would do is work those two leads, have the conversation, go through the contact form questionnaires we have in the Senior Placement Institute for you. But also I would focus a lot on and use the strategies of skilled nursing facilities. I know I get a lot of pushback on that because it's hard. It's like, Matt, that's not easy. And I think people over time have probably heard me talk about SNFs so much that they go, oh my gosh, that must be the easy thing to do. And they go in these communities and figuratively, not literally, but figuratively, they get smacked all over the place, and get rejected. And people are like, oh my gosh, I don't like this. This doesn't feel good. I'm telling you, the long game is SNFs and social media. That is the long game. And it sometimes happens right away. For me, it did happen right away. Maybe because I had a buy-in to it. I don't know. Maybe there was a sense of urgency because I needed to make it work. So I tell my students that too, man, be a person that is eager to get out there. You're just, some of it is a numbers game. I get it, but stay true to who you are. Be you. No one else can be you. That's your superpower. But that's the long game. SNFs and social media. Be consistently contacting SNFs consistently on social media. Now, reason I don't throw hospitals in there as much. Now, there's a weekend strategy. I think I told Ingard this is in the senior placements to, but there's something you can do with hospitals. But don't try to go to hospitals during the week all the time. You're probably going to face a lot more rejection, even more so than skilled nursing facilities. So what I would do with you, these two leads, work them. And I would, have a conversation with them, have some really good questions. You want to listen, be actively involved, attentive to their needs. They're going to give you a lot of hints along the way. People are going to have some resistance, right? A lot of people understand that assisted living, I'm falling off the screen here, assisted living is expensive, no doubt. So I always say that up front. Once I get into hearing their story and get to know more about them, I totally get it. And one thing I will tell you on this channel, when you're in discussion with anyone, whether it's negotiation or just a senior placement business, you always want to agree with the other party. You always want to be in agreement with who they are and what they want to do. It's ultimately their decision, not mine. So when they tell me, hey, I want to move dad in 6 months, I totally get it. Or this time of year, they might say, hey, I want to hold dad home during the holidays and move him in January. I totally get it. You know what? If it was my dad, I want to do the same thing. However, I'll give you a pro tip. When you follow up with this point, you say, you know what? And this is true because I have a lot of stories that will coincide with this. You go, I understand you want to hold dad back for Christmas and he wants to be home with the great grandkids. And then you want to pursue assisted living after the holidays. I totally get it. Something I want to do. I think dad would appreciate that more. Yeah. However, you did tell me, Bill, that you work still 9 to 5 and your wife is out of town a lot on work and there's no one home during a certain amount of time during the week with dad. So what we need to do, if we're going to delay the assisted living situation until the first of the year, we need to come up with a plan B of what happens when dad, what you mentioned earlier, he falls a couple times a week. So what happens when he falls and no one's there? We need to come up with a contingency plan. What happens when dad leaves the stove on? What happens when dad needs this? Oh my gosh. Okay. So in the midst of you coming up with that plan, then I usually segue into some stories that are legit, that people told me that same story, kept their loved one home. Their loved one ended up falling, went to the hospital, and spent Christmas in skilled nursing versus being in assisted living and actually could go home for a few days and, be with their family. So I tell that kind of story, but that's what I would do. I definitely would just use these two leads you have as a launching pad for your business, meaning that you are you're juiced, you're excited to get to help someone, whether they are a $1,200 client or a $6,600 client. I treat them all the same, and continue to have that heart of being an advocate for seniors, and work those leads and begin to develop rapport with those families. But yeah, that's exactly what I would do, and then hit those two areas. Yep.
Awesome. Thanks for that.
You bet, my man.